11 o'clock in the morning. It's like 34, 35 degrees. Heavy frost this morning. And we are out here at the local boat ramp. Gonna take the boat out. This part of the river is always full of trash. It's pretty full today. I mean, there's just all kinds of crap in here. I don't think anybody's been through here in a while. Holy moly. Maybe they're going all the way on the right. I just found something that I've been looking for. I didn't know where it was. I knew there was one up here. I just didn't know exactly where. But right up in there, kind of see the little structure. Let's see, right behind my finger there is a shelter. Apparently there's two of them on this lake. I've looked for the one on the other side of the lake and can't find it. And I've passed this one like 10 times and I'm just now only seeing it because of the foliage being off. So before we try to navigate this, I'm gonna come back over here and see if I can find a way to get up and check out that shelter. You can kind of see an old road that goes down maybe over into that cove. But there's also a road that comes down on the other side of these rocks. Access is just pretty crappy, honestly. I'm gonna see if I can't maybe get over by these logs or something and tie up. Squeeze up between these two fallen trees and throw my anchor down. Access still kind of sucks though, so I'm gonna have to look here real carefully. Take this jacket off before I head over there. Well, this looks pretty wet. It could be dangerous. Well, this is a pretty decent shelter. It is interesting that it's not very deep and it's just wide enough for one person to lay on. Now you could put another mattress on the floor. Always pick up all trash you create. Always take only pictures, leave only footprints. Always enjoy the natural beauty. Interestingly enough, all this stuff was left. There's also a tent pad down there. It would need to be cleaned up just a little to use it. Fire ring, hasn't had a fire in it in a while. Nice little bridge to kind of get up on this elevated spot. There is a toilet, so we will adventure up there in just a few minutes. There is actually some decent firewood right here. If you had a bow saw and an axe, you could actually have a nice fire. I'm not gonna go in there and mess around, but it actually looks like a very clean privy, and in better condition than most privies that I've seen on the AT. So before I just ran off with this gear that was in here, even if it is cleaning up left behind trash, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just running off with somebody's good gear, because there is a name on it. But after doing a little bit of investigating, I think I figured out why some, or maybe even all of it, was left. If you remember just a little bit ago, the tent bag was over here in the corner and half the tent was sticking out. And now it's all in the bag like it should be. I rolled it out onto the ground. And what I ended up finding is it was pretty wet on the inside, so it was definitely rolled up wet. And the zipper on the front door was broke. There was a bunch of leaves on the inside of the tent. And once I got the tent rolled up and got it down in the bag, I was trying to close it, and I noticed the bag wouldn't close because the tent poles seemed like they were the wrong poles. They were too long, they were sticking out of the bag. So I took all the poles out of their bag and ended up finding out that a couple of the poles on the inside of that bag were bent. I think it's fixable with a little bit of careful work to be able to bend them back and bend the elbows back the way they need to be. But it definitely looks like maybe they got caught in a storm, or at least at the minimum a rain shower, and they were in a hurry and maybe bit the poles, or maybe even the wind picked up and blew the tent over. I don't know. And as far as this Coleman Max sleeping pad was still holding air in the lower half, but it has a pillow attached at the top, and the pillow was flat. I don't think it would hold air. It looked like maybe it had a hole in it, so it probably got left. I did not pull the sleeping bag out, but I figure with the rest of the gear the way it is, then the sleeping bag probably got wet and they didn't want to carry it. It's not currently wet. It's actually rolled up in a pretty nice bag. And then this sleeping pad has seen a lot of use. So I'm going to go down to the boat and get a bungee or a piece of rope and roll it up and tie it up in a roll. And then the chair is good. Nothing's wrong with the chair. I thought maybe that the cup holders were tore, which isn't a huge deal. But, oh, it is tore. I didn't notice that a while ago. The chair itself is actually still a good chair, so I guess I got a boat chair now. So one man's trash, another man's treasure. We'll get it out of here. I'll get it home, see if I can't throw some patches on that sleeping pad, maybe bend the poles on the tent. And cleaning up the trash here and reusing some of the gear if I can. So win-win for me.
I'm not sure what happened, but good grief, all these trees have been blown over and down. I mean, it was already bad, but it's even worse now. I guess that storm that came through, holy moly. River's actually up. Usually that whole inlet right there is mud. Nice to see that the water's up. Well, I can definitely see that some things have changed. They've tore down the table and made a bench, and a bunch of trash left everywhere. Cut down some more trees. Yep. See, this is the problem with finding cool campsites that everybody can use. These damn hooligans just come out and do whatever they want. So this bench that they've built into a bench, I guess, was up against this tree here. You can see where it used to sit, and it created a table. It was actually really nice. It was like chest height, so you could put cookers and stuff up on the table. Not anymore. Have just thrown their bullshit trash, which is really aggravating. I mean, really aggravating. And this is looking back downriver. At night, they usually have a light on. It looks like a big giant moon through the trees during the summer when you're here camping. So the water is definitely way up, and I'm glad to see it. Waterfall looks good. I don't know if it's the rain we've had recently or what have you, but I honestly have no idea what's upstream of here. When we walked up, it's a bunch of woods, but obviously there's houses and stuff too. So we're gonna make sure to bowl this water really good. Got just enough water in this cup to be 1 cup of coffee for this Yeti. We'll see how many ounces it is. Okay. Looks like it's just at half a liter. So should boil pretty quick. Black Rifle, probably one of my favorite coffees out there. Usually I get the 1776. It's a medium roast. But when I stopped to pick up coffee, I thought, well, I'll try something a little stronger. So Blackbridge Delight, this is the first time I've seen this one at the local Walmart. It is a dark. That seems like a fair amount. That should get her good and strong. Cold water. Let that steep for a few minutes. It's pretty good. It's strong. I should have let it steep a little bit longer. If you're not familiar with what I just done, that form of making coffee is called Cowboy coffee. essentially what you do is you boil your water. Typically you want to let it cool down a little bit. There's no real way to know, but they say the best coffee is brewed at 200 degrees. But typically you'd let it cool down for 2-3 minutes and then pour it in on top of your grounds, stir that, let that steep for 2-3 minutes, pour in a little bit of cold water on the top. The cold water will make the ground settle, and then you slowly pour your coffee from one cup to another, leaving the grounds in the bottom of the original cup. Most people only do that once. I did it twice because I noticed the first pour got a little more grounds in the cup than I'd really like. So I went ahead and made the second transfer so there would be as least grounds as possible. And the coffee's good. It is strong. It's going to be stronger anyways because of the way it's being made, but also with it already being dark. So that should give me a little pep for the rest of the afternoon. I have been here for about 3 hours, just hanging out, enjoying the waterfall. There is the styrofoam cooler completely full of trash that was over there in those brambles. Went ahead and cleaned that up, cleaned up all the trash in this campsite, stacked up all the firewood, refixed the table. The bucket, I'm gonna leave the bucket. I probably shouldn't, but I found it over there in the brambles when I was cleaning up that cooler. Still a good bucket. It was holding water. I dumped the water out of it. Truth be known, it was probably somebody's shit bucket. But I flipped it upside down so it can't collect any more water, and it can be used as a seat, so I'll leave it. Now, if I come back and I find that it's scattered throughout the woods again or something, I'll just take it with me. I probably should this time, in all honesty, but I'm going to leave it. I wanted to stop and check this last place before heading all the way over to the boat ramp. It looks pretty much the same as we left it the last time. There's no trash, which is awesome. We took out a trash bag, almost 2 full trash bags off of this campsite last time. And I'm glad to see that it's staying clean. I know people are coming because there's a bench made out of cut log, and every time I'm here, it's moved. One time it was out on the point, one time it was up there, one time it was over there, but now it's right here, which tells me that it's been moved, because last time we were here, it was down on the point by where we tie up the boats. So people have been here, but they're not leaving their trash, at least the last couple people that's been here anyways, which is a really good sign. So I wasn't really sure what I was expecting for today, but for a colder day in December, turned out to be pretty good. We got 2 campsites cleaned up, checked on a third that we cleaned up a while back, and it was still clean, so that was good. We got some trash out of here, we got some gear out of here, a couple more steps closer to having an actual clean lake, and we get to get out and enjoy the boat while we're doing it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you on the next one.